Great to have you back with us here for episode number 3 of Inside the Stars. Amari Branch-Autman gets to join us right now representing women's volleyball. And Amari, let's go back a couple of years. You transferred in last season from Jefferson College. You spent 2 seasons there. Let's talk about that transition.
For me, I was very happy to come to a team where I wasn't expected to be a leader because my sophomore year, I was the only returning player. So I had to lead a team of 12 freshmen, and it was a mentally challenging season for me, actually. And I think that's where I actually grew the most mentally, but I didn't get to grow as much as I wanted to physically as an athlete. So coming into Stevens, I was able to let go of all that pressure and the expectation of being the best leader, being the best player. And so it felt good. It felt good to let loose when I got here.
12 freshmen? You were the only,
Yes.
You weren't an upperclassman, but you were the only sophomore?
Yes, I was, because there was one girl who played on the basketball team, but she didn't play volleyball the previous year. So she was a freshman to the team, but she was a sophomore.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I bet your leadership skills, though, really developed.
No, yeah, they did. I'm very grateful for that year. I don't think I would be the person that I am today without that year of volleyball.
What about when you came in that first couple days, meeting your teammates? How well did that gel together? Did it take you long to connect?
I don't think it did. Also because I'm a very introverted person, but I also feel like I'm very social if I have the right people around me. And I felt last year coming in, there was a few girls that I could connect with and that I could gel with without forcing the connection to be there. And that kind of helped me get through the rest of the season.
Well, last season, speaking a little bit more about that one-time AMC Player of the Week, as well as an AMC All-Conference second teamer. And then you also hold the record, number 2 at Stevens for block assists. You got 64.
Wow.
When we look at all of those accolades, what does that say about Amari Branch-Autman?
I don't know. It just says that I'm very determined. And I always want to do better than the year before. And coming in, I didn't really have expectations on, what blocking stats I was gonna get or what I didn't really have no expectations. So to be able to get that without even putting in effort, really, that sounds cocky, but I wasn't really set on that. And the fact that it helped happen is very amazing to me, actually. Last season, I really just surrendered it to God and just allowed him to get me through the season mentally and physically. So that's what happened.
Besides the obvious fact that it's 2 people, contrary to 1, what is the main difference between when you're blocking up with someone or just a solo block yourself?
I feel blocking with people, I feel like it's more, there's greater connection there. But I don't know, something about a solo block will always just get me hyped. It just goes to show the power that I can have and the athleticism I do have in the front row when I'm by myself. I don't know, a block will get me hyped at any point though, over a hit any day. A stuff block is my number 1 way to score.
Bringing it into this season, let's talk about arguably your best game. That came a few weeks ago against Grandview. You hit 375, you had 11 kills. What were you feeling that game, and how did you afterwards feel about your performance?
That game, I was just excited to be there because we talked a bit about that being our most competitive game at the start of the season. We played Mid-America, but it wasn't really Grandview. They weren't the same. They were greater competition. So I think I really just went in wanting to play my best game and being able to lead the team in the way that they needed. And I think I did my job, splitting the block for the pins and being up and scoring when I needed to and scoring when it matters. And this is also my first season I get to serve here at Stevens. So I think I actually went out and provided behind the service line and in defense when I needed to.
Was that a new thing for you, serving when you got here?
Yes, I didn't get to serve at my JUCO, but I did serve in high school. But I didn't. This is my first year serving of college volleyball.
Did it take a while to get adopted, or?
No, actually, because I always served in high school, and I used to jump serve in high school, and I played defense. And arguably, I don't have the best platform, but if you put me back there, I'm gonna play defense, and I think I do well for the team. So
that's all that matters.
No, yeah, actually,
well,
the hustle's there.
Going back to a couple weeks and just these first 2-3 weeks of regular season, what would you describe the team's performance so far in the early start?
I think we started off very strong. Like when we all got here for preseason, the chemistry and the cohesiveness was there. Like we didn't really have to put much effort into getting it there. We connected well. But I think as time has went on and we had an injury happen, that it kind of mentally took a toll on the team. And I think we allowed that to affect us in a greater capacity than we should have. Like it should have been something that happened and we should have worked from it. But I think we carried that into like our past weekend and carried that into earlier this week. And I think mentally as a team, we just have to get stronger in order for that cohesiveness not to be broken and for the connection to remain strong no matter what the circumstances.
You talked about earlier this week. Let's go back to that match, and I'm sorry for going back
No,
to it.
it's okay.
You guys lost in 4 sets. You looked really good, set
Yes.
number 1, and then it seemed like it just went a little bit downhill after that.
Yes, it did. The first set, we really went out and we played Stevens volleyball. We didn't play with pressure. We didn't play really with the expectation of, losing or winning. We just went out and was loose and we played. But we are a team that kind of folds under pressure. So I think when Evangel started, putting in the effort, because you can kind of tell the first set they thought it was just going to be easy, and we gave them an actual fight for the game. So when they came back a different team, we didn't really know how to respond to it. So that's what caused all the mistakes and the hesitation and the miscommunication. And I think that's something we've been working on heavily in practice. Especially because the coaches know our potential and they want to see us at our full potential. So they've been pushing us mentally. And I think that's been doing us some justice. Even though it was just, yesterday? Was that game 2 days ago?
2 days ago, yeah.
Yeah, even though it was 2 days ago, I still feel like they're pushing us. And they were pushing us from last weekend too, so.
Last couple questions I got for you. How much do you know about Arkansas?
Not much, other than my sister lives there. Or are you talking about the team?
No, like, just Arkansas State, yeah.
Yeah, no, not much.
Okay. Are you going to get to see your sister this weekend?
I was hoping so, but I don't think so. She got 2 kids and she just moved, so, she's doing what she got to do.
Well, you guys are going to spend 2 days there. You
Yes.
leave tomorrow, Friday and Saturday. Let's preview those 2 upcoming games. First against Crowley's Rich on Friday and then Central Baptist on Saturday.
Crowley Ridge is going to be a good scrappy game because they're a very scrappy team. I think we need to go in there with the expectation of putting up a fight and being able to out-hustle them, because we're not just going to win by pounding balls and expecting everything to be down and expecting them to roll over, because that's a team that's going to put up a fight regardless of who's on the other side. And I think it's really the same with Central Baptist. Like, I think that they're a team that's not just going to give up and roll over, and they're going to be scrappy and they're going to have hustle. And I think that's the most important thing for us as a team, is to come together and know that, but not allow the pressure of their scrappiness to put us down.
Perfect way to end it. You couldn't have said it any better. All right, Amari, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for
Appreciate
having
it.
me.
Coach, great to have you back with us here for another week, and it was a good one for your squad. 9-0 victory 2 games ago against Blackburn, and then yesterday suffered a defeat away against Westminster. Let's talk about the win. 9-0 over Blackburn. 4 different goal scores for you in your first victory as a head coach here at Stevens.
Yeah, it was great. It was good. Our players have been working hard since August and continually get better. I think for us, we were, it's just always good to see people getting on the score sheet and scoring some goals. Everybody got to play in that game, and we did what we had to do, and that was go out and score a lot of goals, but also get a shutout in that game. So all around, really, really positive. At the after the game, we find out that on that Monday we get 2 conference players of the week in Ava and Carson. First time in school history that we've swept conference of the week awards, so that was exciting and a good milestone for the program. But yeah, overall really happy with our performance against Blackburn.
Well, for Ava, you mentioned her 4 goals, 2 assists. We've seen some good things from her before that game, but we haven't seen 4 goals in one match. That is extremely hard to do.
Yeah, and again, I think it started in the second half against St. Mary's in the game before, where she gets the game-tying goal to help us get out of there with a point on the road, and carried that momentum into Saturday, and 4 goals, 2 assists. That's a pretty impressive stat line, and a great week for her to have 5 goals and 2 assists.
What about the other player of the week on the defensive side? Carson Osborne, one of the go-to center backs. She was a key piece last season. She's continued to be that this year.
Yeah, and she kind of played a little bit of center back last week, and then during the St. Mary's game, we moved her into the midfield. And I think that's been a positive change for her and for our team. She's definitely a workhorse of a player, does a lot of work in there defensively, but also her ability to play some good balls, change the point of attack for us. So I thought she had a great week in the 2 games last week.
Overall, as a squad in that game, what impressed you the most about your team?
I think their ability to score some goals and find the back of the net. 9 goals in a game is good. I also like going back to the St. Mary's game, just the fact that we go down 2-0 on the road and come back and get 2 goals to get out of there with a point. We continually improve every single game, every single training session. This team is very coachable. They're working great together, and I've just been impressed where they've come from August 12th to today.
We talked about it a little bit last week, and we saw it in action in this game. You had Petra Berkova as the starting goalkeeper, but then 5 minutes into the second half or so, Sofia Ramos came in, and she kept a clean sheet as well. It goes back to what you talked about last week. Both goalkeepers able to keep the level up.
Yeah, I'm comfortable starting both of them. Again, Petra has won the starting spot, but I think Ramos, the way she's approaching every training session, the way that she supports her teammate, but also she's trying to win the job too. And she had an opportunity to go in and get some minutes against Blackburn, and she came in and was impressive. Her communication with the backs to keep a clean sheet in her first action of the regular season, that was very impressive. So I'm in a good spot to have 2 good goalkeepers.
We saw them both at times spend some time with the ball at their feet. It wasn't too much because that back line honestly didn't have to work as much as other games. But do you like when they're comfortable goalkeepers, when they have the ball in their feet and are able to act as that 3rd, 4th center back at times and distribute it out?
I think that's a plus, especially in the modern game. I think players, goalkeepers are asked to play with their feet a little bit more. So, our players don't have any problem passing back to the keepers and playing, and they can, it just gives you another player to play out, and it forces the opposing team to have to make some decisions. If a goalkeeper's not comfortable with the ball at their feet, that could be a lot easier to defend, but it definitely opens up some options for us.
Well, after that game, you guys took on Westminster this past Wednesday, lost 2-0 on the road. Give us a little recap of how that game went overall.
Again, winning is hard. Winning on the road is even harder. Last time we went over to Fulton, we lose 7-0 to William Woods. Westminster beat William Woods, so to go over there last night, it was 1-0 late, and they got the second goal. I thought we battled. Again, we outshot them last night, so that was a good trend. And they put away their goals, and we didn't. But certainly, again, you look for growth in your program, look for improvement. So to go over there against a team that beat a team we lost 7-0 and actually compete and have some good chances, and I think that's a lot of growth within our squad too.
What does it say when you're out shooting the teams but not necessarily getting the favorable result? Is that something more on the strikers? Is it just favorable for the opposing goalkeepers, or is it more of a defensive lapse on your side?
No, I don't look at it that way. I think when you're not scoring goals, it's all 11 players on the field, including the goalkeeper, that aren't creating those goals. And when you give up goals, it's all 11 players. So, we're out shooting some opponents, which is really positive. But we got to tuck some goals away. On the flip side, we're also leaking some goals that we've got to clean up in the back. And when you give up a goal and you put yourself behind 1-0, that changes momentum in the game a little bit. Maybe puts a little bit more pressure on the attack to score. So I think it's both ways. I don't ever say, oh, we're not scoring or we're giving too many goals up. It's all players on the field.
Well, looking a little bit ahead for this upcoming week, you guys are back here at home on Sunday. You face Ottawa. They are 0-2-1 this season, still looking for the first win. What are you looking to see from the team, and what are your expectations coming in to face the Braves?
I think you got to defend your home turf, and again, last time out we scored 9 goals. I don't foresee that in the game against Ottawa. They got a first-year head coach there as well. He coaches the men's program, but he's doing both now. And I wouldn't look at the record as being 0-2-1. I think they've been close in a couple of games, and we expect a tough match on Sunday. They're just like us. They're trying to win the game and trying to get their first win. And we're trying to get our second win. So I think it'll be a good, evenly matched game, and one that hopefully we've put together what we've learned through these first 6 games and defend our turf.
For them, and just putting it out in general, and you can speak to this, you already clinched that spot, but getting that first win, is there a little bit more added pressure when you're still winless, when you're looking to get that number 1? Or is it just about...
I think it's early in the season. I think they've played some good teams, so I think I think there's pressure every game on every team, every coach, and we all want to win. So yeah, it's early in the season. I think if you get to the end of the year and you haven't won, certainly there becomes a lot of pressure. But we're still in early days in September, so I think everybody's still trying to figure out their teams.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much. Looking forward to the match on Sunday against Ottawa, 6 p.m. start here from Columbia.
All right, great. Thanks, Esteban.